Yo, what's up? This is Garrett doing another quick one on today is going to be, was it Greg Beck's Alpha Male Confidence, the Psychology of, I don't even know. I got it on Audible. It's a pretty quick, it's like an hour long. There you go. Yeah, that one. I've gone through a lot of pickup material on seduction and all this. This is purely, by the way, not for relationship. This is purely material for like seduction, meeting women to like beginning to like probably lay. It sounds like definitely he emphasized not for relationship. It almost sounds like he's anti-relationship, but there's a lot of. To be honest, I've gone through so much material that like. There's nothing new in there. There's nothing new in any pickup fucking book, really. Like, there's nothing new. If you find a good one, just stick with that one and read it a bunch of times. Sometimes I question, why do I go through all this? I like to just hear different perspectives, different insights, see different things. I'm like, want to go really deep in it, so that's why I just constantly am checking out new material, trying to see different insights, just constantly keep my brain percolating. Anyway, the big three that like I found interesting that I liked that semi-unique or just simply solid reminders for me were I found it funny and interesting how he described women. And like it's not first that he basically described like men as dogs and women as cats. But like he goes like more into like you have to understand the cat is like you have to play with it in a very certain way to gain its attention and want its approval, because the cat will just like if it gets what it wants too quickly, it'll be like when you're playing with a little string of the cat and you're like bobbing in front of its head, it'll get it and it'll be like, I have it, this is boring as fuck, I liked it when I didn't have it, and then just walk away and be like that game's boring to me. Like cats are like, that's exactly how cats, that's how girls are like when you're first flirting with them in the beginning sometimes. So he didn't just use that though. He had a funny point. Like it almost sounds like he was like burnt on a relationship or something. But he was pointing out that like females in like nature, women in most fucking species, he wouldn't say heartless, but like surviving and getting the best DNA replica is too like paramount. It's the most important thing. Everything else is like second to. Everything's second to. And he's like, women will be ruthless and unforgiving. And like they will drop you. They'll drop it like it's hot. Like they do not care about your feelings, how committed, how awesome you were last week. That what they care about is like what you are now and like, are you on point? And he used all these like interesting analogies with like insects, or a lot of insects, like the female insects, the male insect will have sex with a female insect knowing he's gonna die at the end. I think praying mantises are one of these. So he has this kind of like perturbed like thing about have massive social momentum. And this was a really good point for like more hard cases and newer people, is like you have to always have massive social momentum, meaning you're like opening hot girls all the time, you're doing it without thinking about it. That's when like things will click. And in my experience, that's incredibly true. When I have massive social momentum, like that much of social momentum, I literally fucking numbers every day. Girls are asking me out to dates. You're just like on point. It's somewhere like something clicks in your psychology, your self-esteem, and a bunch of things just go online, and you're just like incredibly attractive to everyone, really. And you're just freely expressing yourself. There's just a lot of things that you're subcommunicating that are like going on in your brain that you're just like, I'm able to express myself freely. And not many people are able to do that, especially if I live in San Francisco, so like, or the Bay Area. I actually live in Oakland, but a lot of people are like tech workers and they're working 8+ hours and they're fucking on the computer, and they get too like in their head. And if you're able to be one of the few people that are able to freely express themselves and express themselves well, like credibly, and you're able to do it not just like one-on-one with some person that you're friends with, but like strangers, then you're golden, you're beautiful, you're sexy as fuck. So massive social momentum. Like basically, it's really true that like for beginners, I think the beginner part of game is simply like learning to open, like gain that social momentum and then keep that social momentum. And then you got like probably years of being an intermediate, figuring out a lot of nuances, and advanced is, fucking with nuances and like the subtle energies and yada yada yada. What else in this book? I think the other funny takeaways for me was just like, I've heard this before, but he used to be a radio DJ, and he talked about that he would spend like literally just painstaking amount of time trying to figure out what to say, coming up with good content, and he was not even considered second in the game. And the guy who was considered like the king of the radio at that time was a guy that like didn't prep, didn't think about anything. He just went up and showed up. And the difference was he had a cool voice down. He knew how to use his pauses. And he basically knew how to use language a little bit better. He was confident in his speaking. Burp. And he's like, dude, women would be like incredibly attracted to this guy, and like, it's like, he's like, what the fuck? I'm spending time. This guy is like being an idiot, not doing anything, just showing up and saying stupid shit on the radio, and people are falling in love with it, purely based on his voice tone, his pauses, and the way he uses the language. So, in terms of pickup, it's like, people say that's like, some people will preach that's like the basics. If you just are able to project your voice so they can hear you, that's for more nightclubs. But also being able to project your voice is like really powerful, because it conveys a lot, subcommunicates like on a primitive level to everyone that you're like alpha, like dominant, maybe semi-aggressive, that you should be feared. You're loud, get loud. And then good like eye contact. And usually squaring up too. That's like a big thing that like I believe real social dynamics teaches. Just square up, good eye contact. I'm fucking up my house right now. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like I said, it's a cool one. It's only an hour and 40. If you listen to me like on 3x, you blast through that shit. So yeah, it's worth checking out. I feel like I gave you some good points from it. Over and out. Hopefully I get another one done today.